Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The roar of the crowd has subsided, satisfied to have witnessed the first fallen walker, and those who are still upright move onward as they will and as they must. I see number 88, Stebbins, is, stepping over the body of number 7, not even bothering to look down at the corpse. Those eyes on 88 say that he is in it to win it, ladies and gentlemen. He is stepping through the pool of blood, and he is leaving behind red footprints. And I can also see in the crowd some spectators that look shocked and stunned. It's apparent on the faces of many of the young men in this competition that their confidence has been shaken, overwhelmed by the surprise of those gunshots just moments ago. Folks, even though these boys know the rules, one cannot be prepared for the sound of that first punched ticket. The reality has sunk in. Each and every boy here knows what is at stake. It's not theoretical anymore. This is really happening. And as this knowledge settles in, I believe it's time for a commercial break. Welcome back, everyone. The walkers have left behind the remains of number 7. 3 miles back, Mr. Curly will never need to worry about acne or failed sideburns ever again. He has become immortalized in the statistics of the long walk. But while his troubles are over, conflict is just beginning for the remaining 99. They are now crossing an iron bridge and entering the city limits of Limestone, Maine, where the town's motto is "Experience our quality of life." And folks, if you've never been here before, it is a beautiful little community right next door to a national wildlife preserve. The townsfolk have gathered to watch these boys on parade, and the cheers are growing the further into town they march. The police officers have their work cut out for them, holding back the spectators. Many of them are out-of-towners. Tourism is the biggest industry for Limestone this time of year. Hotel prices are astronomical this week. And here's one of the reasons why: a chance to see the Major. Ladies and gentlemen, his Jeep has just pulled alongside the Vanguard, and the Major's vehicle is keeping pace with the long walk. The crowd is going wild as the Major gives the slightest nod. He's waving to the crowd now, and he's saluting the walkers. Folks, with a moment like this, these young men are all winners, no matter what happens later on. And there goes the Major off on his Jeep. Will he grace us with his presence again? We can't know, but we can hope. It's now 1 o'clock, 4 hours of non-stop walking, 99 young men ready to rock and willing to walk. There's a nice breeze, and things are calmer now. The only spectator's way out here is an adorable boy who has been walking along the sideline for about the last mile or so. But now the little tyke is sitting in the dirt, and he's waving goodbye to all the walkers. It's a good thing you're not actually in the competition, little guy. Maybe in a few years. And now you can tell from the body language from some of the walkers, the smaller and weaker walkers, they're trying to develop stronger ties to one another, trying to bond. You'll notice lots of interpersonal strategies develop throughout the day. But in the end, all the strategies and alliances won't matter if you cannot keep walking. Folks, I can see sweat stains starting to appear in the armpit region of just about every walker. I'm sure you folks at home will be glad that you are experiencing this on television instead of smell-o-vision, because things, I imagine, are starting to get ripe in the Vanguard. And those lads are still leading the way south, their mind's eye on Massachusetts. The boys are reminding each other to stay hydrated. Some of them are sharing their cookies and snacks. It's remarkable camaraderie, especially when we all know this is a battle royale, a duel to the death. But right now they're just kids. Kids who want to make a new friend, maybe be the funny one in the group who makes the others laugh or earns the respect of the others by not showing any fear. You can imagine if you're one of the contestants walking alone right now, you might feel a little scared. Like number 93. This young man is talking to himself. There's a blank look in his eye. That is fear taking over. Walker number 9, Ewing, has received a warning. I'm guessing from his gait that he has blisters on his Achilles tendons. A lack of socks will do that to you. Ewing is one of the few minority walkers among this predominantly white competition, so it's also nice to see people of color in this event. As you know, the long walk is all about equality. And that is a second warning for number 9. It looks like he's wearing sneakers, despite hint number 3's warning against them. Speaking of number 3, Art Baker is on pace with Ewing. The two of them seem to be exchanging information. Ewing pointing down to his feet. Blisters might not seem like a big deal at first, ladies and gentlemen, but it's another way that you can lose fluids, not to mention the blisters can become painful enough to... that is a third warning. Number 9, better be careful. And not far from number 9, I can see that is Gary Barkovich. And based upon my lip-reading ability, it looks like he is shouting. Barkovich is shouting a racial slur. Barkovich is not winning any friends from this. The other boys do not like this kid, and I do not blame them. This is the 1970s. We are way better than this. Number 9, Ewing is still going, still moving, but will he be able to maintain that 4-mile-an-hour pace as we approach the first real hill? It is now 2:40 on this lovely May 1st. As the long walkers ascend the hill, we've got some local boys cheering them on, and from the sound of it, they've had a little too much beer. Not that you could ever have too much of Harrow's Supreme Lager, one of our proud sponsors of today's event. Ewing is now hobbling among the group of boys. Looks like he is hoping to hide himself from the soldiers behind them. And yes, that is it. He has used up the allotted time for this final warning, folks. And the soldiers are moving in. They are dragging number 9 off to the shoulder. The young man is resisting, hoping they will not punch his ticket. And now only 98 remain. I could use a drink of Harrow's Supreme Lager. Nothing like Harrow's. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 3 o'clock. The boys have been walking for 6 hours now. It has been 20 minutes since the elimination of number 9, and it seems most of the competitors have regained their composure and have resumed a good, steady pace. You'll notice that as the day continues, the boys won't flinch as much at the sound of gunfire. It's amazing what these young athletes can become accustomed to, just one of the many discoveries made while taking a long walk. And so it seems for once the weatherman is correct. It is starting to rain, ladies and gentlemen, and it looks like the walkers will be facing their first major test. There's some lightning too. Scary out there, but beautiful too. Most of the boys have brought jackets with them, fortunately. Some are less prepared. It always surprises me when the mothers of some of these boys fail to think ahead. Just look at Pearson, number 74. His jeans are too big for him. He's been hiking up his pants every other step, and now that his pants are soaking wet, it makes his attire even more of a hindrance. It's like some of these parents didn't even want their children to return. Number 88, Stebbins, is hunched over. I thought he had a stomach ache, folks, but it looks like he is simply protecting his last jelly sandwich from the rain. Gotta love that weirdo. And now say what you will about that little son of a gun, Barkovich, number 5, but at least he's brought a waterproof hat. It looks like an old fisherman out there. Alright, I'm going to talk about a detail that many other sports reporters don't ever speak of. The long walkers do not get bathroom breaks. They must keep up the pace even when they relieve themselves, either that or suffer a warning. So not to get too graphic for you folks, there are a lot of competitors right now out on the road taking advantage of the rain and the lack of spectators. The cameras, of course, are not going to show you this, but several boys have already unzipped their flies to take care of business. Techniques vary on this. Some walk backwards while peeing, and others take a more straightforward approach. For some, either technique just ends up slowing some of the boys down, and there have been more than a few warnings from the soldiers since the rain has begun. And then, of course, there are more modest contestants who simply hold it in as long as possible, and they eventually soil their pants. You can imagine how unpleasant that makes the rest of their journey. Number 39 has received 2 warnings now. He looks awful cold in those clam diggers that he's wearing, and he has brought the wrong shoes for this slick asphalt. Hank Olson, number 70, is keeping up the 4-mile-an-hour pace, but take a look at that wobbly gait of his, and take a look also, folks, at the look of panic in his eyes. One thing about number 70 to keep in mind as you watch this, that this is the young man who in his essay said that he would consider any fellow contestant, quote, more lambs for the slaughter. I don't see that bravado now, Mr. Olson. Back on number 39, those shoes have no traction, and this kid is just too darn slow for this walk. Now one of his shoes, well, that is just sad. One of his shoes has come off of his foot. This poor kid just cannot catch a break. His ticket is punched, but he is still moving, folks. Still getting up, God bless him. All right, now he's down for good. So that has been 3 tickets punched, 7, 9, and 39. And anyone out there in Las Vegas who is lucky enough to pick that opening trifecta, they have got to be happy right about now. Main zone, number 47, Garrity, he is taking a page from Stebbins as he walks right over the body of number 39. It looks like Garrity is toughening up out there, perhaps hoping to live up to the great expectations coming from the locals. Number 31, also known as the Walking Mama's boy, Percy, he looks the most unnerved among the group of boys. If you look closely, you can see his eyes are darting every which way as if he is looking for an escape route. But folks, once this challenge begins, victory is the only escape. The storm has subsided into a drizzle. The vanguard is now crossing a set of railroad tracks. They are approaching another crossroad, and we see more fans defying the dampness to offer their cheers. Among the crowd, there is an elderly woman standing like a sentinel underneath a black umbrella. Very likely a mother of a failed competitor from a long walk long ago. Now the main throng is moving across the tracks and, number 100, Zuck. Number 100 has not been paying attention. He is tripped. He falls, but he bounces back up. He keeps on walking, trying to laugh it off, but I can already see a streak of blood. Looks like there is a bad cut on his leg, or just above the knee, I think. Blood is dripping down, and of all the fluids you do not want to lose in this event, I would say that blood tops the list. It is now 3:45. And take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen, a rainbow, a promise of the future, A glorious sight for the remaining 97. I'm sure they all appreciate the view. They just need to keep on walking, and there will be even more sights for them to behold. The soothing rhythm of the half-track has lulled the boys into a steady march, and the valiant members of the vanguard still lead the way. Mr. Zuck, number 100, is still moving along, but he is also still leaving a trail of blood behind him. Peter McVries, number 61, the kid with the scar on his cheek, is offering a cigarette to a fellow walker, and I would say that this might be a strategy to slow the other walkers down. But maybe not, because McVries is lighting up one himself. You know, folks, it's strange but true to say that some young men enter this competition simply to satisfy a death wish. Let's hope that's not McVries. All we really know about his background is that he gave up a very good job at a pajama factory to take a chance on the long walk. And in his essay submission, though he doesn't go into detail, it seems as though he's going through a breakup with, I believe my research tells me it's an ex-girlfriend named Priscilla. Number 70, Zuck is still bleeding, looking both defiant and more than a little pale now. Olson, number 70, isn't quite as wobbly now, but still seems weak in the knees. He is accepting a cigarette from McVries, which doesn't seem like a wise move. I mean, how stupid do you need to be in a competition where every breath matters and, oh, what's that? Oh, they're a sponsor. What I mean to say, folks, is that Olson would be stupid to pass up on Mellow brand cigarettes. Now with more nicotine. Ah, yes, that's Mellow cigarettes. Just a puff away from heaven. It is 4:30, 30 miles from the incredible trek. Number 100, Zuck, has just received his third warning. The little scrape from the train track is still soaking his pant leg with blood, and that might just be his undoing. Oh, and now he has burst into a run. The soldiers are sticking with him, keeping a close eye on Zuck's speed. Number 100 will need to keep above 4 miles an hour for another 59 minutes if he wants to avoid a punch ticket. He is still running. He's passing most of the other boys, catching up with the vanguard. He's very erratic now. You have to wonder just how long he can keep this up, all the while suffer the loss of blood. I mean, surely it will not be long for number 100 to get his ticket punched. But for you, ladies and gentlemen, to find out, you'll have to stay tuned for another installment as we are about to go to commercial while these young men continue our very long and magnificent walk. All hail the Major, all hail the Crimson King. I am Bobby Thompson, and I will be back before you know it. Stay tuned, folks.